Hey, divine feminine, I owe you more than an apology. I owe you clarity. I owe you the truth that should have been spoken when the silence first began to grow between us. For far too long, you were left in the dark, replaying memories, questioning your worth, wondering how someone who once looked at you like you were the whole universe could suddenly turn away and choose someone else. You deserved answers then. You deserve them now. I know you've asked yourself 1,000 times, why her? What did she have that I didn't? And I know those questions didn't just stay in your mind. They settled in your heart. They made you doubt your beauty, your depth, your softness, your power. They made you question whether you were too much or not enough. So let me say this clearly before anything else. It was never about you lacking anything. For a long time, I carried the weight of what I did, but I hid from the deeper truth behind it. I told myself stories to make it easier. I said things like, it just happened, or it was complicated, or the timing was off. But those were excuses, and you deserve more than excuses. The truth is uncomfortable. It exposes my immaturity. It reveals my weakness, but it also sets you free from the lie that you were somehow inadequate. When I chose her, it wasn't because she was more aligned with my soul. It wasn't because she understood me better. It wasn't because she loved me deeper. It wasn't because she was more compatible. It was because I was distracted. She had an allure, the kind that hits fast and loud, a physical magnetism, a confidence that was flashy, an energy that felt thrilling and unpredictable. When I first saw her, I felt that immediate rush, the kind that makes your heart race and your ego swell at the same time. It felt intoxicating, and I confused intoxication with connection. That's the part that's hardest to admit. With you, the love was steady. It was layered. It was real. It was built on conversations at 2 a.m., on silent understanding, on the way you could look at me and see straight through the walls I pretended weren't there. With you, it wasn't just attraction, it was recognition. But recognition requires vulnerability, and vulnerability scared me more than I realized. With her, it was easy, surface level, flirtation, compliments, the kind of dynamic where I could stay charming without ever having to be exposed. I didn't have to confront my wounds. I didn't have to confront my fears of not being enough. I didn't have to confront the responsibility of loving someone as deeply as you loved me, because loving you meant I had to grow. And at that time, I wasn't ready to grow. I was still operating from ego, from insecurity, from a need for validation that I hadn't yet healed. Her attention fed that part of me. Her presence made me feel desired in a way that stroked my pride. And instead of asking myself why I needed that validation so badly, I chased it. I chose the thrill over the truth. And the thrill was loud. It was exciting. It glittered. It looked powerful from the outside. But glitter is not gold. And excitement is not depth. You were depth. You were the calm harbor, the steady heartbeat, the kind of love that doesn't need to perform to prove itself, the kind of love that stands firm even when storms try to shake it. But at that time, I mistook calm for ordinary. I mistook stability for boredom. I mistook depth for something that would always be there, something I could return to whenever I felt like it. That was arrogance. And I own that. Because what I didn't understand then is that rare love does not wait forever. Sacred connections do not exist to be taken for granted. You were not a placeholder. You were not an option. You were not the safe choice. You were the real choice. But real choices require courage. And I chose comfort instead. The attraction I felt toward her. It was intense at first. It felt consuming. But intensity without substance fades. Conversations that once seemed electric began to feel hollow. Laughter that once felt magnetic began to feel forced. The very qualities that dazzled me started to reveal their emptiness. There was no foundation, no shared vision, no depth of understanding, no emotional safety. It was all surface. And when the surface cracked, there was nothing underneath to hold it together. That's when I began to feel the weight of what I had done. Not just because the illusion faded, but because I realized what I had walked away from. You were never loud in your love. You didn't demand attention. You didn't compete. You didn't perform. You simply were authentic, grounded, emotionally intelligent, intuitively aware. You saw me, even when I was hiding, even when I was pretending, even when I was running. And instead of honoring that, I ran towards something that required nothing of me. But here is what I need you to understand, even if it takes time to truly absorb it. My choice was not a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of my unhealed parts. You were not too soft. You were not too strong. You were not too independent. You were not too emotional. You were not lacking beauty, excitement, or passion. You were simply too real for the version of me that hadn't yet faced himself. And that's the part one regret most. Because by the time I understood the difference between infatuation and love, between ego and soul, between attraction and alignment, the damage had already been done. I hurt you. I created confusion where there should have been security. I planted doubt where there should have been reassurance. And for that, I am deeply sorry. Not the kind of sorry that is spoken quickly to ease guilt. The kind of sorry that sits heavy in the chest. The kind of sorry that understands consequences. The kind of sorry that recognizes that some wounds take time to heal and some scars never fully disappear. But I also know this. You are rising from this. You have not allowed my mistakes to define you. Even in your pain, you have been evolving. Even in your heartbreak, you have been building yourself. Even in your silence, you have been becoming stronger. And now, something is shifting around you. Your energy feels different, more grounded, more focused, more powerful, especially when it comes to your finances. I know this might feel like an unexpected shift in conversation, but it's not random. It's connected. Because while I was learning painful lessons about love, you were learning powerful lessons about self-worth and independence. There's a financial breakthrough forming around you. You've been disciplined in ways no one sees. You've been making responsible decisions quietly. You've been pushing forward even when stress about money weighed on you. You've been budgeting, planning, thinking long term. You've been planting seeds. And seeds planted in patience always grow. There is an opportunity approaching, one that aligns with your natural talents. It may come through a new job offer, a side project, a creative idea that finally gains traction, or an unexpected recommendation from someone who sees your potential. It might even come from a place you once overlooked. But it's coming. Your consistency is about to meet reward. You are entering a cycle of financial empowerment, not reckless spending, not quick wins that disappear, a steady expansion, smart growth, strategic moves. You are becoming more confident in handling money, less emotional about it, more strategic. And that shift in confidence is magnetic. When you believe you can manage abundance wisely, abundance trusts you with more. Solutions to lingering financial stress will begin appearing in subtle ways. A debt structure that suddenly feels manageable, an investment opportunity that makes sense, a partnership that opens doors, an idea that increases your income stream. You are no longer operating from survival mode. You are stepping into creation mode, and the universe responds differently to creation. The same resilience that helped you survive heartbreak is now strengthening your financial future. The same intuition that sensed something was off in our relationship is guiding you towards smarter decisions. The same discipline you used to hold yourself together is building long-term stability. This is your elevation season. and it is not dependent on me. That's important. Your abundance does not require my presence. Your success does not require my validation. Your glow does not require my recognition. You are building something solid. And whether I am beside you or watching from a distance, that truth remains. If there is one thing I hope this confession gives you, it's freedom. Freedom from self-doubt. Freedom from wondering what you lacked. Freedom from replaying comparisons in your mind. You were never second best. You were simply loved by someone who had not yet learned how to value depth over distraction. Now, as you step into this new chapter, financially empowered, emotionally wiser, spiritually stronger, I hope you see yourself clearly. You are rare. You are resilient. You are worthy of a love that chooses you loudly and consistently. And whether that love ever comes from me again or from someone else who has already done the inner work, know this: you were always the prize. And your abundance, in love, in money, in life, is just beginning.